How's it going, everyone? We are coming up on the release of Gotham Knights, coming from Warner Brothers Montreal, and I got a chance to play quite a bit of the game, about 2 hours of the game, and I am here to give you guys my thoughts, as I'm sure this is a game many of you are excited about, maybe on the fence about, maybe not sure what to expect, so let's talk a little bit about it and what I played. So I played a few different sections throughout the game, an initial section introducing me to some of the core mechanics, basic stuff like combat, investigation, etc. Then I had a section where I went into a penitentiary and found more information, did some investigation, did some battling. We did some stuff in the open world and got a lot to say about the open world because it's a lot bigger than I had expected. And ultimately, we got to check out a major boss fight with Harley Quinn, and that's only the tip of the iceberg as far as the boss fights go, but a lot of interesting elements there as well. So, start off being introduced the controls. You're gonna feel right at home, and it's gonna start off a little bit simple, fairly simple all things considered initially. But again, you're gonna be very, very familiar with it if you played any of the Batman Arkham games, at least right from the get-go and what you see initially, because it evolves much more than that. You have a light attack button, hold to do a heavy attack that can break some shields of the bulkier enemies. These are the bulkier enemies you'll see surrounded by some lighter enemies sometimes. And how you engage with those situations actually do add a little bit of variety into the combat. But nonetheless, outside of that, you'll also have a ranged attack button, evade and dodge, time it for a precise dodge. Initially, again, it felt right at home, very familiar, and I say that in the best way possible. It's a stylish system that looks incredibly fluid, and it's a clean system to work with, but maybe you wanted a little more, and you definitely do end up getting a little more, because at a fundamental level, while those elements definitely hold a bit of familiarity, it evolves far beyond that. Starts off fairly basic, however things get pretty interesting when you start utilizing the various abilities, and these are going to be a major aspect for the game, especially if you're playing at a harder difficulty. Look, if you're playing on easy, even if you're playing on normal to an extent, but even on normal, it's gonna get a little bit more challenging if you just try to button mash your way through the game. It's really not gonna work that way, and to an extent, again, you can just time your dodges and go to town with the regular attack. However, you want to have some more fun with that, and that's where you have your momentum abilities, and you're gonna have your times where you take on a large amount of enemies at once, or a boss fight where things get a little bit more tricky, and each of the characters have various different abilities they can utilize. And to utilize said abilities, you have a gauge that builds up as you land various attacks, land successful dodges, and once that gauge is full, once you have a full bar, you can click the R1 button and have specific abilities triggered by the buttons triangle, circle, X, square. These abilities range in what they do. Batgirl, for example, has an AoE ability that can also stun enemies. This was incredibly effective in fighting multiple enemies at once, especially, again, when you have like 4 of the little enemies and then you have one of the bulkier enemies. Fighting all of them at once, yeah, you can dodge, you can attack, but utilizing the different abilities is just gonna make it a little bit easier to get through, and you'll definitely want to do that. The AoE ability as well with Batgirl also proved to be very effective against Harley, even in a one-on-one situation. Just utilizing that stun made that boss fight a little bit more manageable to get through. I imagine most of you are going to be playing this game on hard, which, based on what I played, I think that is going to be the ideal experience. Obviously, you can tailor the game however you want to, but on hard, utilizing the various abilities, timing them will add a nice layer to the combat outside of just dodge, attack, use the range ability. No, let's build up that bar, let's get some of these abilities going, and that's gonna make the gameplay, not only is it gonna add more depth, but it also makes it a bit more flashy, to say the least. Again, each hero has a variety of different abilities to use, and this game is described as an open-world action RPG, and some people were a bit confused by that. Isn't it just an open-world action-adventure game? But no, you do have unlockable skills. You do have all of these abilities that you are gonna get throughout the game that do add a bit of character progression. It's more of an action game, but those RPG elements are definitely there as well. And with there being different heroes, you're gonna want to mess around with them, figuring out which one you like the best, and tailor your playstyle exactly how you want to. Hopefully the fact there are multiple characters, a slew of different abilities, and what seem to be a decent variety of enemies, hopefully that does extend into the full game. Hopefully that keeps the combat from getting dull at all, because I found the game over the 2 hours to be relatively engaging, all things considered. Obviously, outside of combat, you do have more puzzle-based sections that are fairly straightforward from what I saw. You have an investigation mode, you can scan various miscellaneous things. You do have optional objectives you can go through, find optional collectibles, things of that nature. Pretty typical stuff, pretty easy to figure out, but offer a nice break of the fast-paced, action-heavy sections. On top of that, you do have a pretty massive open world to explore, but for as big as it is, very easy to navigate and traverse it as well, going from rooftop to rooftop, grappling to things, gliding on over. Very enjoyable and satisfying from that end as well. And of course, if all else fail, you don't want to go by foot, you don't want to fly to your destination, you can bust out the sweet joyride for a spin and get to your destination a little bit quicker. Pretty satisfying to go for a ride as well on that. Speaking of multiple characters, of course, you do have 4 playable characters: Batgirl, Nightwing, Red Hood, and Robin, and they offer different abilities, of course, adding a layer to the combat, but they also have distinct personalities, to say the least. A core element of the narrative playing out is gonna be the interactions between these characters, and I already got a bit of a taste of that in the demo, seeing the banter in between, for example, Nightwing and Red Hood. We have different ideas and general philosophies on how to handle situations, to say the least. This is going to be an integral part of the narrative, and we already had an idea that to get the most out of the game, you probably want to play it multiple times just to see the different perspectives, but it seems like one playthrough will offer you the core story no problem. And by the way, with these different characters available, very easy to switch from characters. All you have to do is go to the character's outfit, and you can change it in your hideout, no problem. The demo I played did end with a Harley Quinn boss fight, and again, this is just scratching the surface as far as all of the bosses that are going to be available in the game, but gave me a nice idea as far as ultimately what to expect and what a boss fight will entail. But it was a fairly standard stage-style boss fight. One stage, it's just Harley, then it's Harley and some bad guys, and then going back to just Harley, changing up her moves a little bit and getting the W. Again, I think most are going to get the most out of this game playing on hard for a bit of a challenge. I didn't have too much of a problem with Harley, and that was playing on normal, so hard might be where you guys want to go at, but you might think differently for that. One final thing I do want to note, as far as the open world, there is obviously going to be additional content. I got to mess around in the open world a little bit. Again, traversal is done really well, and you're going to have various challenges, optional activities that you can do as well. But I only got a bit of a taste of that, so I don't want to speak too much on that, but that is obviously going to be a big part of the game as well. But that is going to do it for me. Again, Gotham Knights officially hits PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on October the 21st. Definitely interested to hear what you guys think based on the gameplay you saw, based on what I'm saying. What's your excitement level for Gotham Knights? Is this a game you're going to pick up day one? Are you still a bit on the fence about it? Wait for a sale? Let me know in the comment section down below. As always, sound off with all of your thoughts down below in the comments. As always, thank you for watching. Thanks to Warner Brothers for giving me a shot at playing the game. Enjoyed my time with it, and I'll give you guys my full thoughts when the time comes. But that is going to do it for me. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.